Hey guys, are you ready? It's read aloud time. So I just posted a whole podcast episode, Fluent is Lit on Spotify, about metacognition. And simply put, metacognition is how you monitor your thinking as you're reading. You're thinking about what's happening in the stories, as if it's fiction, who are the characters, the problem, the setting, the solution, the lesson learned. If it is nonfiction or informational, you're thinking about what's the big topic, what is the author trying to teach me, how do I apply it to my life, what does the author think about the big topic. You're constantly monitoring what is happening in the story in order to make meaning. So I decided to share one of my favorite stories with you to show how I prepare and how we should all be preparing about explicitly modeling what does metacognition look like. And we do that through our questions. And we do that when we elicit questions or share questions that will elicit a response from scholars that help them to think deeper. And I love having back pocket questions. So I always started with a high leverage question, but then I go right to a medium or low level question if they're not giving me what I need or if they're not making meaning. And then once they're able to make meaning at that basic level, I pull them right back up to that high leverage question because it's all about critical thinking. So let's get busy. So this story is called Big Al by Andrew Clements Yoshi. And I would just look and I'm like, scholars, I see the title of the story is Big Al. Based on this title, what do you think the story will be about? Oh, a fish, okay. In the water, okay. So yes, he is big. Yeah, he looks interesting. He has some interesting features. So it might be about his features. Oh, you also see some of the fish, the other fish, yeah. And they do look a little interested, but maybe surprised. Okay, let's keep reading to find out. So right away, you were right. Like the setting already lets us know it is in the ocean. I see schools of fish or groups of fish. So let's keep reading. I'm excited. Wow. In the wide blue sea, there was a very friendly fish named Big Al. You could not find a nicer fish. Interesting. So right away, I'm framing my thinking. There's a character, there might be a problem. The setting, we already know, it's in the ocean. There might be a solution. We don't know. We'll have to find out because sometimes stories get solved, sometimes they don't. And there will be a lesson learned. So I'm now thinking, what lesson can I learn from this story? Big Al was also very, very scary. Oh my gosh. So you know what, scholars, this is making me think. Can two ideas exist at the same time? Because the author already told us that Big Al was a very friendly fish. You couldn't find a nicer fish. But here it's saying Big Al was also very, very scary. I know that I like ketchup, but I don't like tomatoes. So that is two ideas existing at the same time. I can like peas, but not pea soup, right? And so two ideas can exist at the same time, right? Sometimes my sons say, Mom, you're nice when we ask this, but when we ask that, you're not so nice. So two ideas can exist, but we still love you, Mom. I still love you too, Jordan and Colin. Other fish seem to have at least one friend. Some had many, but Big Al had none. Wow. He did not really blame the other fish. How could he expect little fish to trust a great big fish with eyes and skin and teeth like his? So Big Al was lonely and cried big salty tears into the big salty sea. What problem is emerging in the story? So far, we've learned that Big Al is nice, but Big Al is also scary. And Big Al doesn't have any friends because he perceives or he thinks that because of the way that he looks, he's not worthy or he doesn't have friends. Let's read another, shall we? But Big Al really wanted friends. Okay, so we're learning something here. So he worked at it. First, he tried wrapping himself up with seaweed. He thought it was a great disguise, but no one else did. Who wants to stop and talk to a floating plant that has big, sharp teeth? And I know that a disguise means when you dress up or put on something that doesn't necessarily look like you, similar to folks who celebrate Halloween. I know that underneath that werewolf costume, it's really Jordan. Then he thought that if he puffed himself up round, the other fish would laugh and see how clever and silly he could be. All they saw was how big he could be, and they steered clear. How is our understanding of the problem developing or deepening? What have we learned so far, and how is that knowledge connected to the problem? I asked a high leverage question, but then if I did not get the response that I'm looking for, I now am helping scholars to make meaning by going back to what we've already learned about Big Al. He's nice, he's scary, he's wrapped himself up in a disguise, and how that translates or connects to the bigger problem. I hope that helps. Metacognition is explicitly modeled, it's built through questioning, and it matters. Because if you're just reading words accurately and you're not making meaning, then what are you doing? Happy planning.